And greetings, and I hope my mic is picking up well. But apparently it does, although maybe a little bit loud. Let's see, this should be better. Hello everyone! Hi, Gotchaporn! Great to have you! Yeah. Hi, I'm Tom. I do these things occasionally and slowly I'm getting uh into a more routined, more used to the situation kind of vibe. This is the, I think, fifth installment already, and of Getting the Path. And for all of those in the lovely audience who don't know me or what this program is about, I am gonna remind you of this. So, I'm Tom, I'm a professional GM, and I am running streamed games for conventions like Onyx PathCon or Illusion HorrorCon, where I'm also one of the moderators. And I'm also a freelancer. I translate RPG books like Cyberpunk Red, and I also write them. For example, I wrote on Monster Kingdoms and The World Below. Yeah. And what are we doing here? Uh, since I'm writing a lot in StoryPath Ultra lately, I thought I might share my general understanding of how to run games and maybe how to write them. And yeah, I I'm happy to share, and of course to talk with you about games. Um, so we're gonna continue something that we started during our last session 2 weeks ago, where we developed a mighty important plotline for a Curseborn one shot, and we collected all the leads, and now we gonna add to the story by adding the evidence and making this into an interesting thing to investigate. Um, Let me show you what we came up with last time. So, this is my mighty note section. And what we see here is basically the the differentiation between what is lead and what is evidence. Lead is the information crucial to solving the plot, to solving the problem, and usually you are giving them away for free because otherwise your story will halt and not continue any further. And we decided to go with a murder mystery. The captain of the local Covens basketball team was brutally murdered. And we have a path that our investigators, our characters can follow to find out who committed the murder. And if they followed through these leads, they would finally find the culprit and, yeah, can make a decision on what to do with them. It will be kind of hard to decide on what to do with them because we're lacking all the evidence. We're lacking all the backstory, all the motivations of characters and the like. And so this is something that we are going to add today. And we had a last minute effort last time to clear up the motivation, at least of our murderer, a little bit. Um, So basically everything what's blue, what you can see is the leads that we have, and then there is a tiny black uh, section over here. Uh, Let me highlight this real quick. Whoop-de-doop-de-doop. This over here, this is the evidence that we started with. So, um, basically, we know that the captain of the Covenant's basketball team was murdered um, at a rare wine auction. There was a witness, the survivor of a car accident close to the auction house. The crime scene itself was in the auction house, especially in the back rooms, and there's the first strange thing already happening. Um, we have a greenhouse that is somehow molded into this auction house. So we have the specialty auction house in the front, and the back there is a greenhouse, and the survivor of the car accident could see part of the murder scene through the windows, through the glass panes. Um, then our next question was, where's the murder weapon? And of course, it was a bottle of communion wine from Pope Johannes Paul VII heritage. And it sits with all the other bottles from that batch in the local pharmacy. Um, where's the murderer? Um, he is in a secret training gym. And who did the murder? The local Hyde pharmacist, who also runs a rival basketball team. Um, so this is this is basically our touchstone for why is this actually a Curseborn story? Because Hydes are involved. Um, okay, and then we have the motivation for the murder. This is what we came up in evidence last time. He wanted the vine to boost the new Hyde potion, and the Hyde tested his potions on his team, and the captain learned about this. So the Hyde pharmacist also runs the rival basketball team, and they needed the wine because it has some special properties that can enhance the Hyde's potion, which they are testing on the sports ball fields. Okay, welcome to a world full of nonsense. Yeah, somehow we veered off into a very silly territory last time, but there's merit in doing funny things from time to time. You don't always have to go terribly, horribly bleak and sad, like last time during Illusion HorrorCon when I ran a Curseborn one shot. Um, Now I want to tell you about that one, but maybe we will have time to do so. Mm, okay, don't worry, this is ALK free. My English won't get better over the course of this session. I'm not a native speaker. I think you grasp on this by the time now. Okay. Something I didn't consider is how to actually do this so we can still see both. What? No? What's no? Uh, um, how to do this and keep everything on site. I think we gonna have to we're gonna have to create a new white pane, and I'm gonna have to keep this up. somewhere. Um, so something that I learned over the time is it's good to not marry the locations where you are hiding your evidence. Have them, of course, you can have some of them in specific locations, like some information are in a journal, some of them are in emails, some of them are in the report of a witness, and so on and so on. This is good as long as you can get your players to investigate these places and to interact with the items and conversations that you might have prepared. The preparation that I do for my games start at around about 2 pages of pre-written notes, and the further I get into the game, the less notes I have. I think I said this on an earlier session. My preparations for origin stories included 1 page of notes for the first game I ran, and as I had my 5th player, in the 5th session, I had 2 lines prepared. And that's because the things that I want that I don't know is what my players will do. And I love reacting to what they're doing. And this becomes easier if I know what information they need, but don't, put them all into specific situations. They might call a contact instead of looking through the phone book of a person, and they will still get the same results. So, what I'm not gonna do is write down for every piece of evidence where to find it, but instead we're gonna look what pieces of evidence do we need, and are there some things that are just fun to place into certain situations and others are free floating. Okay, let's start with our cast, because by now we have at least 3 characters that we can do fun stuff with. So we have our murder victim. And I think we didn't come up with any names for these people. So if you have a fun idea for a name, maybe our murder victim was also an accursed. So if you want to throw in any fun families here, that would be also great. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time. I think so far I was working under the assumption that all of these characters are male, or I refer to them as them. Let's make our first covenant a covenant of nuns. So this is Sister Larissa. What would be a fun family to have in a covenant? I think we're gonna go with a hungry. A Blackheart. Sister Larissa Blackheart. This doesn't sound gothic at all. Good lord. Oh, perfect. I love this. Basketball Uh, Captain. Amazing. Okay. We want fun information about her. Then we have our next character. Um, let's. This is our witness. Um, Archie Van Door. Um, I think they he is immortal. Um, uh, but maybe this can change. We will see. And then we have our murderer. Um, we already know they are a Hyde. Mm, they are a pharmacist. Um, do, 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 do. Let's call her Sibylla Hyde. She, her, pharmacist. Oh, good lord. Okay. Now let's move all of this a little bit down so I can put a header above here. Do, 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 do. Evidence. So I still know what we are talking about. The wonders of technology. Isn't this beautiful? Okay. Um Now let's add to these characters and get them a little bit into a relationship with each other. Um, these are information that we can then later spread and use during our scenario. And for this, let's actually move this one down so we have a little bit more space. Okay. Of course, the well, this doesn't do it all. Um, there is a rivalry between these two. Um, they probably hate each other's guts. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Rivalry and I like this to be personal too. Mm, they have a history. Um, Lovers to murderers is an option. Um, this might be an idea. If you have any ideas on what else shaped this relationship between them, um, feel free to share. Um, it's even better. Um, They both are captains of basketball teams. One of them is a convent. So we have a group of nuns playing basketball, and their rival um, team is led by this Hyde pharmacist who uses their supernatural potions to enhance the strength of these people, of these players. Um, it's silly. We had a lot of fun designing this very silly story last time. Um, they're both accursed, so they might know each other from family shenanigans. Uh, the Covenant with the supernatural. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, maybe. Maybe I have to rename Sister Larissa Blackheart. Maybe she's actually a Venator. Oh, good lord. We are entering Mighty Duck territory here. Um, Demon hunting basketball team. Good lord. Um, uh, because of the Venator curse, um, Larissa, if they were if she was hunting Sibylla, she would have needed to continuously bring her, trying to bring her down if Sibylla was a target. So it's probably not her. Uh, this is apparently the sports version of K-pop Demon Hunters. Probably. I actually haven't seen that one yet. But I get the same vibes. Yeah. Okay. Uh, oh, but Larissa hunted several of Sibylla's projects. So, and Larissa hunted, this is looking great, some of Sibylla's um, test subjects. But up to now, this she couldn't find evidence that it was actually Larissa doing this. Okay, awesome! Look, this is great. This is so fucking great. Okay. Mm-hmm. Once again, for anyone watching, I'm not drunk. This is alcohol-free beer. Um, I'm without my usual potion of English. Okay. Um, let's just real quick add here that she is a Venator. I had a mixed party of accursed Venators during cold servings, the one shot I ran for Illusion Horror Con, and it worked out very well. One Venator, one dead, one memory sorcerer, and they had an awesome dynamic because the dead character was a fury, and they worked with the Venators before, and were murdered like the rest of the Venator crew. And we started with the dead needing a new body amidst an action scene. I loved this opening. This was so much fun. um Venator. I can highly recommend playing with Venators. They are even more kitchen sink magic users than the rest, and I love this Night Watch style kitchen sink sorcery stuff that's sometimes going on in Curseborn. Um, and Venators are just even more there. And one day, one day I will run a Venator only one shot. Okay, let's add another relationship now between Sister Larissa and Archie Vendor. Archie Vendor is a mortal. Um, and maybe works at a newspaper kiosk or anything like this, a small booth at the street's corner. And he probably he calls Larissa when he notices something is off. Um, so there we have a good working relationship. Whoops. Um, gives hints and the likes. Okay. And let's add a second layer. Larissa cared for him. But since she's in a convent and a Venator, he would be in a lot of terrible danger if she actually tried to confess her feelings or something like this. But stayed at a distance. Distance. Okay. Do. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. And now it's getting juicy. Um, he also cared for her. Oh, this is going into awesome territory here. Gives hints and cared for her too. And maybe they had a talk. They had the understanding that it would be too dangerous for them to be together. So he did what any reasonable person would do, and he found out that there are people who could strengthen him. And so he found Sibylla and asked her to make him strong and resilient enough to basically survive in the accursed world. Cared for her too, and looked for a way to be with her. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. And this is why you shouldn't use paint for any of this. cared for her too. Um, looked for a way to be with her. I would love to move this a tiny bit. Okay. So he turns to Sibylla to gain or to receive a potion that will basically protect him. Finds as and asks for a protective potion. Awesome. And Sibylla is very happy to help out. This is a great opportunity. The thing is, somehow this already turns more into drama and less into funny territory. I have a player who often plays with me, and coined the phrase of Tom trauma, that things get serious and sad with me a lot often. So now we are turning this very silly idea into oh no, what have I done? What have I done? See an opportunity to once further her experiments and to have means to put pressure onto Larissa should she ever need to do. So sees an asset, a burner asset actually, against Larissa. Perfect. Okay. And the fun thing is, Sibylla isn't actually angry at Larissa at all, because with Larissa in the picture, Sibylla doesn't have to do all of the cleanup. She just lets the Venator hunt down any problematic or any problematic test subjects, and as the clean up crew. And you can already see that Sibylla is a little bit more absolutely detached from humanity, because she just lets her test subjects, run around and risks the life of the Venators instead of taking care of the shit herself. Yeah, this is great. Okay. Now, how do our players find out about this? Mm. Let's start with um, our lovebirds, our star-crossed lovers. Actually, they never come to be together. Um, let's start with that relationship. Um, so basically, we are looking at two pieces of evidence here right now. Probably three. The first one is Larissa cared for Archie. The second one is Archie cared for Larissa. And the third one is we can't be together because of accursed reasons. Um, so we need hints for all three of these. And let's go over here. Love situation. These green things are our evidence, or the content of the evidence. And now we want to have several options on how this can be achieved. This can be text messages. This can be social media profiles. This can be a contact seeing them together with a good intuition and good empathy for body language. This can be a journal entry. This can be um something that's on her on Larissa's body. Um Maybe she has a charm. A bullet shell, for example, carved with Archie's name. A charm on Elt's body. Bullet shell. Plus inscription. Archie himself can tell this. Doop 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 doop. I think these are already a lot of good ideas. And all of this is just to bring across the idea that Archie and Larissa have been actively trying to not be a couple. Why is this information useful? It helps to understand why Archie went to Sibylla in the first place. Okay. I just noticed that there's still a lot more evidence that we can put in there. We just are looking at the relationship table here, or relationship net. Okay. The finds Archie finds Sibylla and asks for a protective potion. So, how would we find out about this? Um, the potion deal. Uh, Voice me. Um, Video footage of the meeting. Probably not too far off um, from the auction house. Um, but what is voicel mail? That's probably something very amazing. Um, Once again, he could tell. Um, How else would you learn about this? Um, I think these are already pretty good things. Um, and the first two are actually pretty good pieces of evidence. The fun thing about evidence is, whilst it not furthering the plot itself, um, the players and the player characters get a better understanding of what's going on. They also provide enhancement in interaction uh, with the problem. And so, if the players know about the potion deal with Archie, who just had an almost fatal car accident, um, this might put pressure onto Sibylla. Um, and then you get the enhancement on your interrogation roll or observation roll or whatever you're doing to find out what's going on with Sibylla. Um, okay. And I think like this you could go on and think about what are several options on how to find out what else is going on, or how else can you achieve this information. Um, and the nice thing is, we are living in modern times, so we all have our communication devices always around. This might be a smartwatch, this might be a phone. Um, and I'm pretty sure Smart Accursed finds a way to crack these devices and get to the information. And if not, it's time to write this ritual or to write a spell that does exactly this. Um, this might actually be a cool topic for our next session in the new year, that we sit down and create a ritual for Curseborn together, or several of them. I think this is fun, because if you this is at least my observation. If you look at the examples that are given in the book for heirlooms or um, rituals or spells, you get an idea of what the assumed power levels are and where to go, even when there's not a strict ruling given on how to design them. I think this would be fun. Okay. Um, we have like 10 minutes left. Where did the time go again? It's running away. Um, let's let's get a little bit further into our story and not repeat everything that we already have. Um, so what happens in my mind is before Larissa is murdered, Archie contacts Sibylla that he needs protection, and Sibylla says, "Well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Um, I know you are a friend of somebody I also know, and it would be just awesome to have you around, you know. And I can actually give you something really good. Um, the only thing is, I actually need to procure one last ingredient. Um, and I have a source. It will take just a tiny bit, and we can meet afterwards. Um, and actually, you know what? Since I see you're a great guy, here, take this. This is not a permanent thing. This will work for a week or so, and you will feel great. And then we will see each other again. So basically, she is selling him or giving him a free sample of some ability enhancing hide drugs to get him hooked. And this is awesome. Now she has control and power over the potential love interest of the Venator who might one day come after her. And it's brilliant to have this safety. Um, could have been providing us the best team, which fucked up. I'm getting new input on a several on a on a different channel. So the pharmacist could also have been providing drugs to the basketball team, which fucked up with the players in curse-born sort of way. So Larissa was becoming a problem as she was looking into where the drugs were coming from. I don't know who the other players got the substance from and was looking into it as Venet. This is actually also a great idea. So until now, the murderer and the murder victims were both captains of basketball teams. And Mrs. Hyde was boosting her own team. Um, but yeah, maybe some of Larissa's players also got in onto the story. Um, you see that there are several venues to go, several ways to have fun with this, to adjust and to run the same scenario several times and look what's working best for you. That's also something that I learned the hard way is scenarios are getting better the more often you run them. And I have a few one shots prepared for Curseborn, and I think my first one is slowly getting where it's supposed to be, and that's a cool feeling. And maybe one day I'll be able to post that one. But this is not what we're here for right now. We are here for creating more problems and more shenanigans for our lovely trio over here. Yeah, thank you for the idea, Inba. Okay. Um, the potion deal. Oh, of course. I am a silly man. The potion, the super drug that Archie receives has physical effects that can be seen. Physical effects on Archie. Poor guy. Got green shining veins or something like this. This is not good. We all know when something is brightly green lit, that's dangerous. That's radioactive poison toxin. Let's stay away from that. So the potion deal is also Archie's new addiction. Um, this is another thing that's now a problem, and that's something our players can find out about. Um, okay, so uh, if the players are looking into the last cases of Larissa, they will of course learn that she was hunting down was hunting down um, strangely mutated people often enough uh, basketball players. And this is where we enter my scatterbrained way to write scenarios. I look at the threads and start to pull and see what's coming up, and I'm just adding notes um, about fun things to explore. Um, Usually, I would come up with a very basic person if my players ask for, okay, who was the last person that Larissa was hunting? And then I would come up with some Jane Doe sitting somewhere in a Leichenhalle. Um, the place where all the corpses are stored. Morgue! In a morgue. And then the players uh, could see where that this person probably shows um, the same physical um, appearances with Archie. So there's a connection between the two, and now we can, of course, look where this comes from. Our players finally can use their science skill. There are a few skills that I feel are massively underused in supernatural curseborn like games. Usually you would call for some occult or other magical related skills to do research, or but rarely science actually gets used, at least in the games that I run and the games that I've played. This might be different for you, but when I'm designing a scenario, I often look into what skills are there that I haven't used yet, and I hope to make sure that they are at least triggered once or twice. And so this would be a great use of medicine and especially of science. And if they looked at the corpses and they looked at Archie, they would notice, okay, there's no injection holds, there's nothing around the nose. This is ingested via the mouth as a potion. Okay, where does this come from? And um, either Archie knows who he is talking to, or he doesn't, which would also be fun. And now we have to find out who Sibylla is, um, who is the dealer of these magic drugs. Um, okay. The um the way of in God Lord. Um, I have to look things up in a dictionary. I think it's ingestion. That's the word I was looking for. Ingestion is also a piece of evidence because this will lead towards Sibylla. Um, we don't get to ask all the fun questions. We don't get to answer all the fun questions. But I would like to know, why did Archie end up in the car accident? Um, Sibylla told him, I need to procure one last ingredient. We already know this is the vine from the auction house that has special magical um, um, capabilities, and that's why she is there. Um, we should probably add this. Sibylla tried to buy the vine, but was outbid. There are two options on how this goes further, and this is very much dependent on how long do you want to want your game to go, because the first option is Larissa also knew about the vine, and she knew that if this was bought by the wrong person, things could be horribly wrong and she would have more work to do, and she's already not happy at all. Or this would contain the story to our three main characters. Or, to make things more complicated and interesting and expanding the game time, you can insert a third party here. And this party would be introduced as the party who would buy the wine. They don't get the wine, which might become a problem or not, but that's not for now. And then they can become the antagonists in your next story, since they have been already introduced. Um, so even if your players don't investigate who actually tried to buy the vine or who bought the vine, you can bring them in back later with, oh, these were actually also the guys who bought the wine in our first game. So since I love adding more complexity to stuff, and I need people to stop me from that, I would totally say the address or name of the highest bidder is also a piece of evidence, although not for this story, actually. Unless it was Larissa, then we would have some connection there. Okay, why was Archie involved in a almost fatal car accident? Hello, Toki Gas. Great to have you. Tuki. Took, I guess. Good lord. Yeah, this took me some time. Welcome. I won't be online for long. I usually just do this for an hour, but it's great to have you. Okay. Brain works. Why was he involved in a car accident? there is the option that this is a red herring. Um, car accident. Maybe. Um, maybe he had the car accident because of the drugs he got. This would be like another level of drama because the drug that he got to um, to protect himself is the reason that he almost died. Um, the potion, that would be fun. Um, or during the deal with Sibylla, he learned something about um, her dealings, but understood this later. Some piece of side conversation that Sibylla had with one of her other clients, or he saw something coming up, um, and yeah, he he needed time to comprehend this, but Sibylla understood very well that he knew something that was a problem, and since she can't murder someone directly in the moment she's making a deal with them because she would be on the murder scene. She gets somebody to get rid of him. So we have three awesome options here. Um, Pure chance or just the accursed nature of Curseborn. Um, Bad things happen to good people. Um, because of the potion or learned something about the readings. Um, and was meant to be killed by Sibylla's hench people. Because everyone needs hench people. Okay. Um, I think this is already a lot of awesome information to be gathered. Um, we have plenty of things that are movable. Um, for example, learning that Sibylla tried to buy the wine is this information is attainable easily. You can ask the auctioneer, you can ask people from other bidders, you can enter the registry and look who was bidding how much. You could go into the video footage. There are plenty of ways to get this information. Um, you can learn about the cases of Larissa by asking her Venator crew. You can ask contacts. Uh, Maybe she has a police record, um, but nobody was able to pin any actual crimes to her. She's just on a list of people to watch. Um, yeah, I think the lesson from today is the lesson I started with. Keep an open mind on where to place your information and how to do this. Uh, and yeah, have an open mind. The important bit is that your players get the information. The how can be amended. Um, yeah. I think this would be actually possible to run. Um, and I think this is a good state. Uh, yeah. There's a lot going on in the channel for Curseborn, and I sometimes look into that, but there's so much going on that I miss a lot of the things. But if you have an idea of what kind of ritual you want to or we should create when I'm back from the holiday break, then tag me there. This is one of the rare cases where you are allowed to tag me in the correspondent channel. Um, I'll be back at January 8th with my new stream next year. Um, and I should probably remember to tell you that yesterday, Branch Riders was released. I am um, in training to become a therapist, and so a game that is designed for the needs of therapists is pretty awesome. This was written together with amazing freelancers and developers from Onyx Path and with therapists from the Bodhana group, a group of therapists who use RPGs for therapy, which is amazing. So you can check this out on drive-through, and yeah, um, I am. I'm pretty sure we missed the last hours of the Exalted Infernals Kickstarter. Um, it was over when I started, so I don't have to worry about that. But um, I'm sure if you missed the ending too, there will be probably the option for late pledges. Um, keep an eye out. I was astonished how much support the supplement got. It's amazing. And yeah, the Exalted fan base is very, very excited and very reliable, I think. So, yeah. Um, I think that's basically all. I thank all of you for your input, for your ideas. And next time, I'm gonna do something less convoluted than an entire scenario in 2 sessions. Okay. Or maybe I'm just gonna do a game report. This could also be fun. I started this entire show with the idea to do game reports and tell you how and why I decided on certain situations. Um, I should probably actually do this. But yeah, see you around, my friends. I hope you have an amazing night. And if you're celebrating any religious holidays in the coming weeks, have a great time. If you don't, still have a great time and do whatever you feel comfortable with. And yeah, see you in the next year. And thank you for joining and sticking around, Gachapon. It was great to have you. Bye bye and good night.